This is the plaintiff, Kelsey Wondrak. She says she paid the defendant a dog trainer for some obedience classes and then changed her mind about his services and asked for the money back. She didn't sign any contract. The defendant hung up on her, and this rude man needs to learn a lesson about etiquette and customer service. She's suing for $550, the amount she's owed. This is the defendant, Ronald Fearman. He says the plaintiff's dog was out of control, and the unruly thing practically dragged her through the door. He spent 10 minutes with her dog, showed her what he could accomplish, and she signed up and paid him for half. Bottom line, he trained her dog for 2 hours. Deposits are non-refundable, and he's under no obligation to return her money. He's accused of not rolling over.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff hired the defendant to train her dog, but changed her mind, and now the defendant won't give her her money back.
Right.
The defendant says the plaintiff's dog was out of control, and he trained her dog for 2 hours. It's the case of a fight don't.
Sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome,
Ms. Wondrak, you are suing Aztec Dog Training and Mr. How do I pronounce your name?
Fearman.
Fearman, for $550 that you gave him as a deposit that you feel should be returned to you. Tell me what happened.
My husband and I were planning to go out of town for 2 weeks, and we have a 2-year-old corgi named Dougie. So we were looking for a place for our dog to be boarded, and so we were looking into doing obedience training or schooling while we were gone to make the best use of our time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've been in that position. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right. Wesley, my husband, went ahead and called local dog trainers to see who would be a good fit and talked to Ron at Aztec, and who seemed to be the most helpful at the moment. So they had a phone conversation, which later turned into text messages of setting up an appointment or an evaluation for Dougie to see if he would be a good fit for the training and listen to him. So we set up an evaluation appointment for 7 p.m., and he wasn't able to make it at that moment, so I took the dog myself.
Okay, so you take the dog over, and what happens?
So we let Dougie work with him. He did some basic training commands, walking with a leash.
Well, what was the
while
point
I
of that, though?
observed.
Because what was the point of that, like basic commands, and as soon as she walks in?
She came in with the dog dragging her kind of like a cartoon character, and their biggest concern was the dog was out of control. I call it too big for their britches. And what I did was she came in and I gave her a quick evaluation, 10 minutes, got the dog on a leash, just kind of walked him around. And I asked her, I said, now you guys are going out of town. Do I just do this one lesson at a time, or do you guys really need to leave your dog? What do you want to do? Talk to her about everything. I had already talked to him and explained the price between $9.50 and $12. I said, I'll do 11 if the dog's not aggressive, but I require half down. So they knew ahead of time what the price was and all that, what to bring and everything else. So she brought all that. I evaluated her dog, then I asked her, what do you want to do? Do you sure you want to leave your dog here? Blah, blah, blah.
Right, but what I'm asking you is
Sure.
the whole beginning thing, that's before any money changes hands,
Oh, yeah, well,
so that you can show her what
exactly.
you can do.
I take a look at her dog to make sure he's more than anything else not aggressive towards me or a danger to any other dogs. That was my initial 10-minute consult to explain what I do.
And did you show what you can do?
I evaluate the dog real quick, but I don't really give a lot up until I ask her, and she paid me. She filled out the contract herself, and then I proceeded to continue to work her dog in 4 10-minute sessions.
Okay, so you decide that this looks great. What made you think that it looked great? The way he talked, the way he handled the dog, what?
So she changes her mind, never signed the contract, but gave the guy a deposit. Does she get it back?
I don't believe she should. I think that she gave the deposit in anticipation of the work being done, and that's what you hold a deposit for.
And he says he did some of the work. What do you say?
It's not refundable by default. I'd say no.
What about the fact that she didn't sign the contract?
Yeah, I think no contract means she should get the money back.
Okay, going inside the courtroom.
He did have a good sense of how to work with the dog. I mean, my dog was following his instructions, so I did feel confident in his training at the time.
All right, so then he gives you a contract to read. You take a photograph of it, of the different pages. Did you sign the contract?
I did not sign the contract.
Okay.
But she filled it out.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry, sir. Ma'am.
Did you leave a deposit?
I did.
How much of a deposit did you leave?
So over the phone, he quoted $950 for the training. Once I got there, he upped it to $1,100, so it was $550.
For the training or for the boarding? Or
For
for both?
the down payment to hold or reserve the spot for 2 weeks.
No, my question is, how much was it supposed to cost you entirely? $1,100?
$1,100, yes.
All right. How much of a deposit do you normally
Half
ask?
down,
Oh, you
whatever
do?
the cost is. And
So you give him the $550, and why do you give him the $550?
In the text message, he said, please bring half down to reserve your spot or hold your
Okay,
spot
so
for the
the
2 weeks.
answer to my question is to reserve the spot.
Yes.
Okay. So then you go home, you talk about it with your husband, and you change your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So what is the reason that you feel you are entitled to change your mind?
Because I never actually signed a contract. I did give him the money to reserve the 2 weeks like he asked, but I didn't agree to anything because my husband wasn't there. So
Did he reserve the 2 weeks?
Yes, he put it on a calendar and highlighted it and took the money after that.
And that's the purpose of giving the money, is to reserve the 2 weeks, right? Okay. Now, she changed her mind mighty quickly.
I can tell you why, I believe. They changed their mind because the dog did too good when she got home and she didn't feel like they needed the training any longer. That's
So
simple.
how long were you training the dog that night?
I worked the dog 4 times, probably 5 or 10 minutes at a time. And if you watch the video, you'll see that
Let's see the video.
It's a different dog, but it's the same disposition. She has a video, though. She asked me if she could videotape me, and I said, yes, since you hired me, you can. But you cannot share it on social media. But she has a video of her dog.
Oh, this isn't her dog?
No, it's a dog
no.
just like her disposition.
Yep. Do
She
you
has
have
a
a video of your dog?
I do not.
She
Okay,
took a
well,
video.
apparently she's not going to play it for you and help
Right.
you. All right, so go ahead.
So anyway, I worked her dog 5 minutes a session 4 times. And the way I do this, I convince the dog it's in his best interest. If you're in a room and you bring your dog in, I walk right towards you 3 or 4 times. By the third, and I turn the other way. As soon as the dog thinks he's going to hit you, I sneak and turn the other way.
Hit you?
Walk up to you and jump on you.
Okay.
Sorry about that. I turn and go the other way without saying a word, sneaky. And I reapproach the target, her. And now by the third approach, the dog starts to figure out I'm not going where he thinks I'm going. So he starts to look at me. Then I isolate him. I get him out again 10 minutes. I do that several times. Now he's looking at me all the time. He's giving me more and more attention. I exploit that. I start a pattern-oriented routine. Every time he looks away, I sneak off the other way. It's not long at all before he's not pulling anymore, not tugging, and not looking at anything else because he's focused on me. This is my niche. No one else does it this way. This is my thing. And that's what I did for her dog. After 4 sessions, I had her dog that came in dragging her, doing heel, sit, stay, down, and down, stay. That's why she won't show you the video.
So you feel that she got what she needed that night, but
Yes.
they're going out of town. They still need the dog
That's
boarded.
what I thought too. I think they figured they could now take the dog that was priorly unmanageable with them. Because she said the reason we're leaving him is because we can't take him. He's too out of control. Once she got home.
Yeah, maybe. All right, so did you ever suggest that the deposit was refundable?
Absolutely not. It says no cash refunds right on the contract she filled out, by the way.
Okay, when you say she filled out, she didn't sign it. But
Well,
what do you mean by filled out? She filled her
She
name?
filled the top out. I can show you 2 different handwritings.
All right, so you see the contract, you write stuff in the contract, you photograph the contract, and frankly, the
takes it with-
default position whenever you pay a deposit is, here's the deal, hold the spot for me, I'm gonna give you money, don't sell it to anybody else, and then you change your mind and then you know what, give me my money back. That's not really how deposits work. The default position on a deposit, even if nothing is said, and in this case something was, because the contract that was handed to you, that you started to fill out and that you photographed, actually says non-refundable. But even if nothing was said, the default position is that it's non-refundable. Because that's what's normal. You're giving something up, cash. He's giving something up, the spot. You see? So we start from the premise that deposits are non-refundable. In your case, we have something even more perturbing, which is that you spent 2 hours there with him training your dog. But that really doesn't even matter to me. I am going to assume that you spent 10 minutes there and left and paid a deposit. I don't get to say, come on, it was just 12 hours later. You make reference to, well, it was, I should have 24 hours to change my mind. Where'd you get that? Some states say that, that's not, it doesn't apply to you. So when is your trip, or did that already pass?
It already happened, yes.
Yeah, did you take the dog?
No.
What'd you end up doing?
We had a friend watch him while we were gone.
That's a lot cheaper than $1,100.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm sorry, it's a hard lesson to learn, but that's what the law is. So my verdict in this case is for the defendant. Good luck.
So the plaintiff learned a hard lesson today about deposits, that they are not refundable. What are you thinking?
I mean, I went in for an evaluation, and I didn't expect to have to actually commit to anything, and now he has my money, so.
He looks like he really knows what he's doing. Were you impressed with what he was doing
Yeah,
with
he
your dog
trains
that
dogs.
night?
That's his job, so yeah, it was pretty decent, but, I mean, I'm out of my money, so I don't have anything else to comment
But
on.
how's your dog? How's he doing? Is he doing better than he was when you took it to him?
It didn't really make a difference. He was only there for 30 minutes.
Okay, you got to live with it. Thank you very much. Sorry. It's the way it goes. All right, Mr. Furman, you sound like you have a pretty good system going.
Yes, sir, I do. Very unique. I just haven't put my book out yet, so yes.
You're
Very
going to
good
do
at
a
what I
book sometime?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, good enough. Congratulations.
Thank you
Thank
very
you very
much.
much. Okay. Harvey?
You know, the plaintiff had mentioned, Doug, is about a 3-day cooling off period. That doesn't apply in situations like that. That is usually like a home solicitation contract where somebody knocks at your door and you have 3 days, since you were kind of blindsided, to change your mind.